Alright, guys. BLM here. We're fucking back again for some fucking reason. uh, yeah, again, this is just never getting done. But whatever. Trying to get everything up here. Big Brother Eviction happened. I didn't watch it, but obviously I know what happens. Okay, cool. We're waiting for the veto at this point, right? Or not the veto, fuck with the HOH result. But yeah, obviously, the intention is to work on the player ranking. I'm a fucking idiot. I can't find my own stream. There we go. Cool. Thank you for the 85 stream streak. That is insane. Either way. Yeah, Jeff is getting a star in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if that's a good or bad. Like it's good for like Survivor, like recognition of Survivor, but also it's like that just plays into his ego though, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know how that works. Like, is that a thing? Do people like pay to get in? I don't know how that works. Rum got sniped out. I don't know if he got sniped out, but he got taken out. I don't know if it was sniped. Like, yeah, I think he's pretty much a goner anyway at this point. It's just a matter of when. Rum and Frenchie come back. Yeah, obviously. Fuck, Jeff from Science did that shit. Yeah. Where's Julie's star? I mean, does she need a star for hosting Big Brother? Ross Matthews' unlock guess is very funny, actually. We don't know the HOH yet. It'll probably happen, within a couple hours. I haven't ranked Rome yet. I mean, we can do that real quick. It won't take that long. I did add the cast names here. And I added Ashley somewhere. Here. Above Amanda Craig, below Autumn. Is that something? Maybe even generally Ashley could be higher. Ashley could be probably like somewhere in this range probably. To be fair, Kristen's probably too low. Whatever. Like around there. Yeah, Rome's over Ashley, obviously. Like where's Rome here? Like my instinct is for him to be orange. And like Zay is there. I think he's better than Zay. I think he's better than Adrian probably. Jimmy is there. I think this is probably like, I think Riley's right there. I think this is probably the range I'm looking at. Like Riley, Paloma, Jimmy, Eric Littman. I think Angela's right there. She's orange. Yeah, I'm thinking like somewhere in this range. Yeah, I think either here or here. I think those are like the two possible ranges. I think my instinct is to go closer to here. Like maybe. I mean, I see a lot of like Riley parallels to a degree, though. Yeah, Haley's targeting the trees. We don't know HOH yet. Better than Zach? Which Zach? Like, do I have him higher than Zach? I mean, I don't think he... Yeah, I agree. He's probably not better than Zach. Where's Zach Cornell? It's there. 207. Yeah, like, he's definitely lower than that. So, yeah. I would say, like, this is probably about right. Like, Eric, Littman, Riley, Paloma. I think those sort of people. I'm not that shocked to see Lyric not vote for him. I was more surprised to see that fucking Taylor voted for him for some reason, which like I assume was a hinky vote to some degree. But yeah, I was not shocked at Lyric though, especially considering Melody was the other person who's like someone else that she's close to. Like if it was like Rome versus like Taylor or something, then I'm like, okay, yeah, she'll probably vote to keep Rome. But when it's like someone else that she's close to, it's like, oh yeah. Kind of room for Lyric. I kind of am too. Like I'm interested. I'm interested seeing how it goes. Yeah, I don't think they would have cared if Lyric voted for him to stay. Which makes it interesting that someone did like throw a hinky vote at all. But you didn't know Eric was in a showmance on his season? You haven't watched BB-8? Yeah. He was the original Corey Wernberger. How'd Katie and Tarzan move up? They just did. Are you talking about why? Like, it's the fact that, like, I think it's kind of for different reasons, really. It's like Tarzan's like he's in a majority for the early game, and then still was able to survive a good amount of tribals after that. Katie's a little bit different. She's not really in a majority, but she's at least in the know of what's going on for a lot of the game, and she also goes to like an obscene amount of tribals, and also like gets taken out because of a rock draw. Eric was Corey with nipple piercings, sure. Yeah, they dated for like a few months. Like they broke up like like I believe they broke up right before BB9. So BB9, so he was on BB8. BB9 happened in the winter, so like that was only a few months later. I think like what, 6 months later. And Eric and Jessica were chosen to like host the first HOH comp. I believe the story is that by the time they did that, they were already broken up. Like they had just broken up, like right before they did that. So like yeah, they probably dated for like 5 months or so. One of the strangest exits I've ever seen. Yeah, I haven't even watched the actual Eviction yet. Eric did have had nipple piercings. That is the thing. I did see Jason during. Yeah, Jason seemed to do really well in the blockbuster. I am personally hoping for a Jason HOH. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Like it'll be a train wreck, but it'll be a lot of fun. Katie voted incorrectly, but she actually knew it was happening for a decent amount of it. Like even when she votes for John in the Rachel vote, like she knew Rachel was going. They split the vote onto John because they wanted, like in the case that like John had the idol and tried to save Rachel, they wanted John to be the person that went out instead of them. Jason rubs me the wrong way. I'm ready for him to leave. I think he's still fun. I mean, yeah, his first 2 weeks are horrible. Like if he ends up going home this week, he's the worst player of the season. Do I want a Yosh HOH? Obviously. Yeah, Mallory HOH would also be really fun. Katie mentioned Whitney Duncan in her interview. Sure. Like, okay. Like, are we talking about at the time of Blood versus Water? Like, that was only a couple seasons ago, so it's like, it's not that surprising. Does he Rob C imply that Jenna and Heidi said something to the effect, if you don't vote for us, we may have a threesome after the season? Wait, if you don't vote for us, we may have a what is that? Wait, wouldn't it be the opposite? If you do vote for us, we'll have a threesome. I don't know. Vote correctly one time in the post merge. Yeah, but she still knew what was happening. Like after the R's vote, at least. Like she obviously knew like Vetus was going. She knew Tina was going. Like she was in the know for the Laura vote. She was blindsided when Caleb goes home, and then like you have the rock draw situation. But it's a rock draw. And she still goes to a lot of pre-merge tribals. Like, she goes to, what was it, like 6 or something? Pre-merge tribals? Like, she's able to get Caleb to flip during the Brad Culpepper vote. She again, like post swap, like she again, that was pregame related, but like still she was in a pretty good spot post swap. Jason had the worst early game out of all my winner picks. I mean, like Ovi, was gone by this point, but I guess like yeah, Ovi's played a better game than Jason did. Katie was playing for a hate and win. I don't think intentionally though, but yeah, that's more so just because like Katie couldn't win, but like good Tarzan, good like none of these people even came anywhere close to come like again like Katie at least got all the way to like the final 6, and got to a rock draw. It's better than most of the other people here. Like I'm not even saying Katie's that good. Like she's gonna be dropped off around now, but like again, I think it's fine that she's at 413 out of 751. Who want to win HOH? Probably Jason. Jason or Mallory. One of the two. See vision for Julie being a Druther. I feel like she hates Drew, if I were to guess. Like, that was very awkward. Yeah, that's fair, too. I mean, then again, a lot of that's pregame, but yeah, Katie had votes if she got to the end. Who'd Melody put up? Probably Target Devins, right? I don't know who she puts up next to him. Good chance that coup d'etats amongst the time. I think it's a guarantee there's a coup d'etat in there. Which, yeah, we're going to be getting that tomorrow, right? But yeah, I feel like 1,000,000,000% confidence there's a coup d'etat in there. I mean, there's 6 advantages from Big Brother's past. It's like, how many advantages are there really even to use? Are there thoughts to even have on this eviction? It's like, we knew this was happening. Yeah, Mallory's targeting D. But I don't know if she can get D out. I think Drew can talk her out of Devins, but I'm saying that I think her initial target would be Devins, though. Again, would she land on it? I'm not sure. But, like, I think her, like, plan initially would be Devins. Cloud power-up is returning. It could. It's possible. Yeah, America's Veto is probably one of them. And if it's not a coup d'etat, it's going to be, like, one of the variations of it for sure. Like the deepfake HOH or like one of these other ones. Would not want to win HOH? Probably like Kamu. It's like that would be boring. Probably ideally not like D. Angela would be fun, but also I just don't want to give like the vets that much more power. Dumber move, Zach or Lawan. Zach, right? No, actually, no, Lawan. Lawan, like, because, like, yeah, actually, no, Lawan. Because, like, Zach at least had a blockbuster he could win. Like, Lawan literally, like, and I guess to be fair, Lawan ended up having a pseudo blockbuster he could win, but, like, Lawan literally has to be voted out. So it's like, yeah. Drew's kind of becoming Andrew's new Matt, yeah. I mean, it's Drew. Yeah, that'll be interesting if it's Drew or Melody. Especially for the Angela D of it all. Haley H. Which could be fun. Could it, though? Like, she's just going to target, like, Lala and, like, Taylor and, like, I don't know. Is that fun? Jason HOH takes out Kamu, Charlie Kirk for being homophobic. The problem is that Jason doesn't know that. Yeah, I did actually. I forgot about that. Melody did talk about putting up Jason, which I don't get why. Yeah, Matt Williams shout out, obviously. That's pretty funny. Brandon Donlin gets a shout out on Big Brother. Right. Again, I'm gonna start working on the player ranking. We'll see how this fucking goes. We'll obviously get the HOH result at some point. I love how I keep on forgetting where I put my phone when doing this. Yeah, Brandon watches Big Brother. Like, Bran's the one that prepped her for Big Brother. Like, that's why she's shouting him out. Yeah. So we're moving on to this tier. I think conceptually this was supposed to be like the tier of like people that were like on the bottom of their groups. Though like still made it at least like, I guess with the exception of Dan Barry, like made it like to the merge, obviously. I kind of enjoy Haley as a character. I think she has her moments, but I still don't particularly like her. I have a feeling this HOH is knockout. I would be surprised if it's knockout, but it could be. Extra string 3 out of 15, pretty much. I don't remember who's on Traders EU again. It's what, AJ, Shane, Kirby, right? Who else is there? Is that it? Like I would guess Kirby would do the best. Oh, I forgot about Henry. I forgot Henry's there. But yeah, I would assume Kirby does the best. All right, I'm gonna look up the voting record for some of these people, because I think that could be like the tiebreaker between some of these people. Ted goes to only 6 tribal, or like survives only 6 tribals. I'm kind of surprised by that. But is in the majority the entire time. That's super, super relevant, but whatever. Sarge. Where's Vanuatu? Should we all do a Twitch IRL? Imagine, dude. Imagine. Yeah. I should go the Jeff getting inducted to the hall, or into the Walk of Fame or whatever. That'll be very funny. Yeah, Sarge survives 5. Votes correctly 4 of those times. Dan Barry's kind of different in these, isn't he? I guess like Dan Barry, to be fair, was like supposed to be one of them, and it gets kind of twist screwed. That's kind of a shit record, actually. I forgot he'd even vote out Ruth Marie. They got Boo, Fiji. Boo goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kind of forgot Boo went to so little tribals, but that's because he won every pre-merge challenge. He's in to know for all of them, right? Technically. Then we got Redemption Island. Generally, actually, and the more I'm looking at it, this doesn't matter. Like, the voting records for these people don't matter, but I'm just gonna do them anyway. I think I'll do voting records until we get to, like, I think for multi-time players, it probably doesn't matter as much. But whatever, I'm just gonna do it for the sake of it. Ralph has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tribals he survives. Only votes in the majority at 3 of them. But for Pagonging is obviously a factor. Julie goes to 1, 2, 3. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. Votes correctly at 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Yeah, 4 out of 7. So that's better. Then Brain Enhanced, last one in this tier. She goes to a lot, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Survives 10 tribals. Votes in the majority at all? Yeah, at all of them until his boot. It's pretty insane. Just 10 out of 10. I think that's the best record so far, for whatever that's worth. Kenward is mother, sure. Yeah, with the split, if it's a split vote, I include it as they're in on the vote. Even with like Katie, like I include like the Rachel vote as her in on the vote, because like she knew where the vote was going. She just split the vote like in that way because she wanted to split the vote. Like it's more so about intention more than like Like again, like split votes are split. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's see. Actually, that is kind of insane. Actually, that the first time, well, I actually obviously he votes incorrectly at his boot round, but like outside of his boot round, the only time he votes incorrectly is the first vote of his second season. Like that's kind of insane. Yeah, I guess we'll fucking add Karamo in for a second. Yeah. So looking at this tier, I do think the Ralph, Julie, Ted, Sarge, I think that feels like a grouping. I think Dan Barry is like a step below them, if not maybe more than a step below them. Dan Barry generally could be just lower. Like he is twist screwed. It's like I think like kind of factor that into it. I'm kind of thinking maybe he should be with like Neil and Tim. You should count the Philip vote. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Like ultimately, I don't think it really matters. I'm more so like assessing Brandon for his like original appearance than like Karamo. Like I don't think Karamoan really does much. But yeah, it's like the reason why Brandon is like this high is obviously just because of his first appearance. But yeah, I think Dan, like Dan Barry's kind of a weird one because like he position wise he is more similar to this. But he like only he only goes to like he only starts 2 tribals. Even in one of those tribals, he's not even getting his way. But he was like twist screwed to a degree. But yeah, I think did Angela win HOH? I don't see that. That would be fun though. Would be fun. I don't know. It would be fun, but again, I would rather the power go to the non vets. Yeah, I knew you were fucking around because I would have had an update by now if that happened. Yeah, what do I want to do with Dan Barry? Above or below Neil Gottlieb? Again, what iconic rivalry. Dan Barry and Neil Gottlieb. Like Neil was gonna be on the auto votes. I think I lean Neil over Dan. Part of me actually kind of wants to move Dan even lower. Because like realistically, like Dan was a beta. But also like I feel like Dan is all that like in comparison to some of these people, like they were in like better like spots in their group. Like Dan is just like there. Like he had a good relationship with Terry, but Terry drops him at the right at the like first instant. Like I do think the twist screw nature of it kind of like makes me wanna like kind of boost him a little bit, but like he's not even getting his way in his alliance. Didn't happen on 13. What are we talking about? Oh, did we get confirmation on Survivor 52 things? I generally have not been paying attention. I think if we actually got to the final 4, Terry wouldn't drop him. Probably not in that spot. I mean, like, he probably would allow him to go to fire, right? But, like, I don't know. Is that better? I mean, like, it's better, but, like, is that much? Like, I don't think that changes that much. Like he's still like, it's still a spot where like he is dropped. Like he is on the bottom of the pecking order, and he doesn't even get his way before that. Or at least like Tim does get his way. Maybe I can. Maybe I'll go like Danbury here. Because like there was like Dwight ended up not getting his way with the Justine vote. I mean, I think Terry just keeps the idol under the worry that they switch the votes on, like kind of just what happens on the real life situation. Or like I think Terry was always just keeping the idol. Like I think he didn't want to risk. Was 51? Was there a whale on the 51? I generally have no memory of there being a whale on the 51 logo. That's kind of funny. It was in the majority of, and opposed to Dwight. Not. It's kind of the same thing. Like I mean, Dwight was even in the like minority. Really, it's like it was really like it was 3v3. And then after that, like Cody and Jesse flip to take out NECA right after that. So it's like he's not really in the minority at any real point. Like if anything, if they go to another tribal, it's like I feel like Jesse probably just drops Cody at that point. He's like, I don't think Noel's turning on Dwight. Yeah, what is this? Like, is this anything? Like, this is just individual challenge stuff, isn't it? Oh yeah, I forgot Cody had an idol. Yeah, that affects things, but yeah, I'm still going here though. I still feel fine about this. It doesn't really matter what tier he's in, right? I guess I'll put him here. Because he's kind of like an in-between. Like, these are players that, like, questionable, I don't know, like, or at least, like, 50-50 at the beginning. Not really, like, majority, but not really, like, not in a majority. Like, these are players that were more of a majority. It's like Dan's kind of like a middle ground of that, where, like, he's in the majority, but, like, he has no influence in it, and he's, like, clearly on the bottom of it, but whatever. Then, how's Dan compared to Tiana in 47? I think better than Tiana in the sense that, like, he had an alliance, Tiana didn't. We passed Tiana already, right? Like, Tiana's a decent ways back now, I think. Yeah, she's, like, way down there. She's, like, 100 spots different, almost. Like Barrett's leaf tattoo. I haven't paid attention to Barrett's tattoos. Brand Quinn or Brand Donlin, who'd win? I just realized, did we passed Brand Donlin already, right? Yeah, there's no way I didn't already have passed Brand Donlin, right? I don't even remember ranking Brand Donlin. Oh yeah, okay, we did. Okay, cool. I generally don't even remember ranking him. But yeah. All right, what are we doing with this? So, yeah, in terms of rating these players, I think these four, well, no, they're not exactly the same, are they? Like, Sarge and Ted, I think we're clearly on the bottom of their groups. Boo was also, I'm not sure if I want to assess them the same. We talked about the next to Melinda thing. It's like, I could force it to be that. As of right now, I didn't land it that way, right? Yeah, as of right now, I don't have it that way. I could force it to be that, but I do feel like it would feel a little forced. But also, I could do it because it would just be funny. Like, it's one spot. Like, it is again, it's like, it is this. But I do think switching this feels disingenuous. Because I do think Melinda's better than Erica, and I do think Erica's better than Brand Onlin. But also, like, it could just be funny to do it. Didn't Boo have immunity over Stacy? Like in the Stacy Boo round? Or fuck, the Stacy Boot round. There we go. And again, that's the kind of thing with Boo, is that Boo had immunity for like the majority of the game. Let's see. So I think this order feels fine for them. I think Ralph's probably closer to these people. All right, yeah, I think we'll rank these three. Let's see. So Ted, Sarge, Ralph. Is it Ralph then? I mean, like, so like Ralph has the worst voting record, obviously, but like that's like a lot of that's in the post merge from the Pagonging. I'm not really gonna fault him too much for that. Like if we're talking about pre merge tribals, like his record's 3-4. Like everything after that is just Pagonging. So it's like, again, I don't think that matters too much. Which I guess, to be fair, if we're taking Pagonging into it, like Sarge has a 4-4 also. So it's like all these players technically have like, well, actually no, Ralph has a worse. Yeah, so these two have perfect voting records, taking out, well, like if you take out Sarge's Pagonging, Ralph is still out on 1 vote. So I think Ralph at the bottom still does make sense. But then again, Ralph also survives, but also it's like he wasn't going to survive in his original tribe formation. It's like Ralph was going to be, because like Ralph obviously makes it like pretty far into the post merge, but that's because like they're picking off the threats, and it's like Ralph's just not looked at as that big of a threat. Like it's not like he had that good of a standing within his original group. Like if his original group played it out, it's like he's probably what, like 4th, maybe 5th even. Like he's not in great standing there. But I guess to be fair, so are Sergeant Ted. But again, like the fact that he was even left out of a vote in the pre-merge, I think he's at the bottom. And then I kind of want to go Sarge above Ted, actually. I think that was an active decision last time to have Sarge below Ted. I kind of want to have Sarge above Ted, though. Because, like, Ted just had so much time to do something, and he didn't fucking do anything. Like, it's like people were telling him he's on the bomb the entire time, and he just did nothing about it. And obviously, like, he was going to, like, he like, thought about making a move in his boot round, but, like, he also still doesn't fucking do it. I see Johnny Depp is playing Scrooge? No. Makes sense, though. So yeah, I'm thinking this, and yeah, what am I doing with Katie and Tarzan at this point? I think is the debate. Do I continue to move them up a little bit more, or is this where they land? And generally, they probably should be different. Like, I don't know why I have them together. They're not really that similar. It's just that they were the two players that were lower on the list. I was like, they probably should be like a little bit higher. Because I feel like Katie is probably more like a Penny Ramsey-esque player, maybe. This is gonna be a train wreck, dude. This is gonna be such a train wreck. But like maybe even like a Kendra level player. But still, like I feel like Katie can move up a little bit more. Tarzan. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe Tarzan can be in this tier, actually. Like, is Tarzan that different from a Dan Lembo? Like, if anything, Tarzan's voting in the majority more than Dan Lembo, right? See, I feel like maybe they do move up a little bit more. And yeah, I think these three are still. Actually, I think there's even an. Why do I have Jonas and Cole below them? Let's see. Like, I think they're above Neil and Tim and them. But I think in comparison to Jonas and Cole, I think it's kind of an interesting debate. I mean, they're all of these are kind of like victims. Actually, no, they're not. I mean, yeah, like Ted actually is a bit different, actually. Like, I keep on like thinking of these as like all victims of pagongings, but like Ted's not a victim of pagong. Ted literally had like so many opportunities to do something and just didn't. So he's not really a victim of pagonging. I feel like he is above JP here, though. He's probably above Carl and High still. Do I just put him... I kind of want to put him just on the bottom on his own in a way. Actually, like, I don't know. Should I be putting Boo here too? Because Boo's also one that, like, was on the bottom of his alliance the entire time and, like, didn't do anything about it. And, like, I guess, like... No, actually, that's not a credit. I was going to say, to be fair to Boo, like, the other people were targeting him and whatever, but it's like, that's actually not a credit, is it? That's actually worse. Both of them would just be Ted. They had the numbers. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. But also, it's like they didn't have the opportunity to play that out. So I think it's which one do you want to give more credit to? The person that actually did become the Ted? Or the ones that theoretically would have been the Ted, but we just didn't get to see it? Because, like, the actual Ted, like, had chances to do something about it and just, like, didn't. Or, like, we don't know if these players would have had, like, done something if they had the chance, which I would be surprised if they did. But we ultimately don't actually know, though. Boo kind of compares to Kyle. I'm not sure it's like, I think it's better than Kyle because, like, Boo is not going home in the pre-merge. Like, Kyle was in a spot where, like, he likely is the next boot if they go to another tribal in the pre-merge. And, like, M. Night, he was at least on the bottom, like, with Tiana. It's like, Boo was actually in the majority alliance at the very beginning. I think the problem... I think post-merge Boo is, yeah, probably more reminiscent to Kyle post-merge. But again, I think, like, the better start is still good enough to put him, like at least better than Kyle. Where's Kyle anyway? It's like a decent ways down at this point, right? Yeah. Even in the Boo versus Ted debate, I'm not fully sure what I want to do there. I kind of want to go Boo above Ted, actually. Boo would go home over Alex if it was for his immunity. Debatable. Like, he definitely would have been a target. I don't know if he for sure goes home. But also, it's still a spot where, like, I think the thing I want to credit Boo for is Boo at least tried to make a move. He at least, like, did try to take out Yao Man, and, yeah, he at least tried something. Ted never tried anything. And, like, yeah, he tried as in, like, he talked about it, but, like, not tried as in, like, actually doing it. So like at least Boo actually did something. Also, Han said he was a top 50 player at one point, and he's clearly correct. He had Boo in his Hall of Fame. Again, Boo is clearly in the Survivor Hall of Fame. It's pretty undeniable. Yeah, generally, I kind of want to move up on Jonas and Cole. In a sense that, like, because, like, the problem of all these players, or majority of them, is that they got pagonged. Yeah, Russell and Boo are really close. But, like, in the spots where they didn't get pagonged, Sarge and Ralph are likely the first boots in their groups. Jonas and Cole are, like, higher on the pecking order. I don't know if Jonas is, like, at the top of the pecking order, but, like, Cole is, like, again, with Jessica at the top of the pecking order. And, like, Jonas definitely isn't at the bottom of the pecking order, like Sarge and Ralph. So, like, I kind of do want to switch these. Let's do, let's put these here. This is a spot too high. Yeah, so I think that's sound logic to do it that way. Wait, are these a spot too high? I guess, like, the argument for Ralph would be the fact that he does end up surviving a good amount of tribals. Like, Jonas and Cole obviously get taken out pretty quickly after the merge. So I think that would be the argument against switching this. But yeah, I think it feels okay to me to do this. Sarge and then Ralph. Then we got Julie Wolf, who is higher on the pecking order. Not at, I mean, like, too fair, I guess, at the top in the sense that she's in the top 3, and that's good enough to be at the end, but she's also, like, not gonna win. Where's Banu ranked? Like, way lower. Where the fuck's Banu? Didn't we move Banu up a bit, too? Okay, maybe, yeah, he's probably still at the, like, towards the bottom. Where the fuck is Banu? Wait, where is he? He's here. Oh, there he is. Okay, there. Yeah. But yeah, I think we moved Banu up, like, probably, like, 20 spots. But he's still in the bottom, like, 35. But he is there. Ralph did vote for File to win. He's the only person to vote for File. Yeah, he knew how good File really was. But yeah, I'm thinking Julie is good enough to be Tarzan level. Like, I think Julie's good enough to be above these. Like, because, like, realistically, like, had she come into the merge with numbers, like, Julie's probably making final 3 with Steven and Mike. I guess, to be fair, she is, like, well, actually, so is Tarzan, though. I was gonna say she's pretty confrontational and whatnot, but, like, so is Tarzan. I think Tarzan's probably higher still. Yeah, Tarzan's still higher because, like, Tarzan was at least able to get in with the other group for a little bit, right? Kamu won HOH. I haven't seen that yet. That would be depressing. Yeah, Tarzan survived over Cat. That's something. See, I'm thinking Tarzan. I'm thinking Julie is. I think I'm going to add Julie to this tier. I think is kind of what I'm thinking. I think she's, like, the top of this tier of Jonas and Cole. Of, like, players that were decently positioned within their original groups, but do get pagonged and still aren't, like, particularly good players. What am I doing with Brandon Hance, though? is Brandon Hance just the top? It is Kamu? Well, that's fucking depressing. Oh, yeah, I see the update now. God fucking damn it. Well, that's depressing. Yeah. That's just... Yeah, the season, again, worst season of all time already. Can't believe it. Yeah, Jason Lala Mallory, that makes sense, for sure. Yeah, this is Trump's America. Kamu's really Derek. Yeah, kind of. I mean, like, I wouldn't be shocked. God damn it. Damn, that's so annoying. Like, generally, that was the worst outcome. Like, I would have taken, like, literally any other out. I would literally taken a fucking Chuck HOH over a Kamu HOH. Yeah, this is just fucking depressing. Well, at least I can focus more on the Survivor player ranking now because there's not going to be anything to talk about from Big Brother. Comment tells Drees considering putting Mallory, Jason Latrice. Cool. I can't believe it. That's surely new information I wouldn't have guessed from the very beginning. Tom can now spread his homophobic agenda. Yeah, again, you're happy you like Kamu. I mean, I was like, generally as a player, I do kind of like. I think Kamu is a very solid player, and I do respect Kamu as a game player, but also he's boring as fuck TV, and he's also like I don't know, has some questionable beliefs. Brandon Hance, I'm leaning towards Brandon Hance is the top of this. And, like, I'm not sure if I want to put him in the Katie tier, or, like, is he just different entirely? Or is he more of a Tarzan? I can see that. Maybe more in line with Tarzan. Like the problem with Brandon is obviously he's like on the bottom of his alliance, doesn't realize it, but is voting with them for like a very long time. Even the pre-merge like stays in the majority the entire time. It's about where like Sophie and Albert don't. Has a lot of win equity on that season. Though also does give him immunity and gets himself voted out. And obviously his second appearance is horrible. But again, the fact that he did have like, the fact that he was like the front runner to win, if he got to the end on that season is insane. I think we. Yeah, I'm just not really sure what I want to do with him. If I want to, like, maybe give him a slight edge up. Maybe put him, like, closer to these people. Yeah, I think I don't think I'm going to bother ranking him properly just yet. I think with these three players, I'm still kind of, like, waiting for a spot to leave them off on. And I think that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, we'll continue moving up, and then we'll eventually find a place for him. Okay, so we're moving to this tier. Am I going to bother still doing voting records? I think for some of them it might matter, for some not. I don't know. We got, like, Penny Ramsey. Who... like, is 5 for 5 in the pre-merge. And then, like, obviously bad after that. But still, 5 out of 6 tribals survive. That's not bad. Rory is kind of interesting. Oh, wait, I can't do it that way now. Let's hope Kamu does a cow more. That would be great. That would be fun. So I get high on Rick's winning chances. I mean, Kamu winning HOH is, like, really fucking good for Rick, right? I mean, like, in general, this is, like, just very good for the tool shed. Um, and again, Kamu, like, also, like, I think this is also very good for Drew, right? Because, like, I think Kamu's not gonna, like feed into Angela and Dee's, like, paranoia about Drew. So it might help out Drew a bit in this spot. All right, Rory goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And technically he's voting correctly at all. He survives. Which, like, to be fair, is not, like, I don't know, like, in comparison to Penny, it's not really saying much, considering, like, her one vote out of the majority was part of a pagonging. Amy O'Hara, I think, probably also has a clean voting record, if I were to guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 out of 4 for Amy. We got Randy and Ace, which is kind of a random duo to have together here. When they flip on Kamu next week because he's protecting Drew too much, that'd be very funny. Hope Angela and D spiral and try to get Drew on the block. If that happens, then, like, the alliance just completely blows up, right? I can't imagine they actually go through with that. But who knows? Yeah, Ace survives 4 and is in on 3. Randy on this season has 1, 2, 3, 4. Really? Randy only goes to 4 tribal, or, like, survives 4 tribals? That's kind of surprising. But I guess it makes sense considering he was on, like, Coda when they dominated. But yeah, it does have, like, technically a perfect record. Like, this was part of a split. Wait, no, not perfect record. He has this. So 3 out of 4 also. Then we have Eve, Jill, and Julia Landauer, aka Mother. I'm pretty sure Jill and Eve probably have the same record, right? Jill has 1, 2, 3, 4 tribals survive, 3 out of 4. Eve also has 3 out of 4, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, both have 3 out of 4. And then Julia Landauer. Julia Landauer might have the best record here. Or maybe not. I think she maybe goes to 6 tribals. Half his tribals are in the premiere. Yeah, that's kind of insane. Half the tribals he survived, I guess to clarify, because he technically goes to 5, right? But, like, I'm not counting the tribal where he gets voted out. Or at least I'm only going to count the tribal he gets voted. Like, yeah, I'm not, like, obviously it's assumed that they get voted out the tribal they go. Right? Okay, cool. Wait, did I pick the? No, yeah, Julie Landauer too. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3. Wait, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4. Okay, I was thinking she went to more tribals. But oh, I forgot she was left on the outs of this, actually. She voted for Dawn still. So that's another 3-4 record. I don't even think this was intentional. That they're like literally, like, there's 5 people here for 3-4 record. And I guess, to be fair, Randy has like a 3-5 if we're including Here's the Villains. Or people thinking for who to vote for the power. I mean, like, I'm assuming Devins is just gonna get it. I'll be very surprised if Devins doesn't get it. Like, in terms of, like, what would be ideal, like, entertainment wise, maybe, like, I mean, like, Jason, but that'll never happen. Mallory, maybe. I don't know. I think Mallory is probably the target, right? Like, Kamu was talking about targeting Mallory, right? Coming into the week. But I would assume Jason's probably the backup target. Like, I assume those are probably the two that in the most danger here. Yeah, Jason would be funny. I mean, they're revealing the powers of punishment. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what they are. Even though, I don't know. I haven't looked at how many lists, like the list of powers of all time, but like, there's not that many options, is there? Like, how many powers have there really been in Big Brother history? It's like I would have guessed like maybe like 12 at most. I don't know. Production's desired result. I mean, from what I understand, they focused the entire episode on Rome, right? So they probably did want Rome to go out. Oh. Rain's the best, unlike the rest. He got out of being swap screwed. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair thing to bring up. Yeah, he actually like benefited. Like he actually like found his people. And then he like took over Bob's spot in the alliance also. I guess to be fair, Rory also survived being swap screwed, but like not in the exact same way, right? And does get taken out like immediately after that by the people that he got swapped with. Yeah, I think it's like Jill, Eve, Julia are together. Maybe Ace is also in that. I think Amy might be the best of them. Like, these were all, like, players taken out in the post-swap phase and got swap screwed, right? I think that was, like, the intention behind these people. Yeah, Rory technically is different because, like, he technically survived a swap screw, and I think you can give that credit to Randy as well. And then Penny's just, like, all around different. I don't know why Penny's even here. So, yeah, I think that's kind of the breakdown of this grouping. Let's see. So, like, I think Penny is probably closer to, like, this range. Like, she probably is more of, like, a Julie Wolf. And not even really, like, actually, why did I have Penny above Julie? I don't even know why. Because, like, I don't even know if that's... It's like they were both, like, people that, like, got into conflict. I guess, to be fair, Penny, like, flipped on Jake and, like, had, like, a semblance of a killer instinct, I guess. But, like, Julie, if her tribe came into emergent numbers, was poised to get to the end. Like, Penny wasn't. Even though, again, like, she gets to 3, I guess. I don't know. Like, she's still, like, she's third. Like, Julie was third. So it's like, I guess, like, if Redemption Island was the final 2 season, I guess, like, they are in the same spot. But yeah, I think Penny should probably be closer to this tier. And I think making her a sub-tier Julie kind of makes sense, especially considering, like, just how many tribals they survived. I don't know what they actually would have done, like Ken and Jake. Like, if they really would have stuck to Sheehan to the end. But yeah, I am thinking Julie and then Penny. I mean, generally, again, that was the worst HOH outcome possible. Like, I generally don't even think there was a possible HOH outcome that could have been worse. Yeah, I think I'll do something like this. Kamu Steamroll, that'd be really depressing. I'm considering. Okay, so like, yeah, with these 3 people here, like Katie, Brandon, Tarzan, they're not really ranked as is. It's more so just like I feel like they should be higher than what they were, and like I'm just trying to find a space to like drop them off. I think this could be a drop off point for Katie. Um, like Tarzan, I am looking more like at this level right now for Tarzan, especially like Dan Lembo level for Tarzan. Katie, like she does go to a lot of tribals. She doesn't really have that much like actual influence in the game though. She's not really part of a majority group. Um, maybe Katie with actually I feel like Katie should be above Rory though. But maybe like maybe Katie can be in this tier. But she has a way better like she goes to way more tribals than them and like has a better voting record than Randy at least. Um yeah, I know. Okay, so what am I doing with these people though? I think it's also something I have to consider right now. Um where these are obviously all swap screwed players. Am I keeping them here? Like am I still saying that they're better than like these players that were on the bottom of their alliances, or do I want to drop them? Because like this is where like the Bradley, Alan Ball, Lucy, like those sort of people are, who are like some of the other better like pre-merge players. Um, like why is there such a big gap between them and these people? Law's winning veto, surely. And like, are these all like one for one? They all were in initial majority groups, get swapped into a minority. All were then left out of a vote in the post-swap phase for these people. I think Amy just is the best of these. I'm kind of debating on Ace is one that I think is like if we're just ranking amongst these people, which I think I probably should do first because like I do think I'm probably gonna keep these people together. Like Ace is kind of like Ace voted with the majority in his original group. Like he's not actually like part of the core, which is like the criticism. But I actually feel like Ace does better work in the post swap. Like post swap, he's blindsided when Jackie goes home, but he's able to get in with Maddie and then like almost causes like a flip in that group, and it's like he loses Sugar by the end. Like that's the criticism, but like he was able to like almost survive a swap screw. So I don't know. I am kind of feeling like maybe still put him with Amy, like in these like almost survived a swap screw situation. Yeah, I think my instinct is to go this. Is to go Amy, Ace, Julia, Jill, Eve. Where and like Jill versus Eve, I don't even think is that like I don't really have that much of a vested interest in that. I feel like it's pretty close. I think I guess I give Jill credit for like being closer to Marty, who is like seemingly the person running things, but like I don't even know if that's even really fair. Because like how much was Marty actually running things? Like on his original tribe? Because like ultimately it was like Tyrone and Eve that were in the middle, that were like the swing votes. So it's like, do I give more credit to like one of the swing votes or one of the people on the winning side of things? The tribe stayed the same. Ace would have gone home earlier in 10 Sarge. Yeah, that's fair. But I still feel like what he does after the swap is still better than like anything like Ted and Sarge. I guess like Sarge is maybe like a different one, but like definitely better than what Ted does. And yeah, like even better than stuff because like Sarge gets swapped into a majority with like all his allies. Like Ace gets swapped. I guess to be fair, Ace gets swapped with Sugar, who was an ally, and he loses Sugar, so like that's pretty bad. I like part of me, like I don't know, maybe I could go somewhere in this range. Okay, cool. I don't know, maybe I do go below Ted for the swap screws. Like these are kind of like, I guess they're technically post merge, but like kind of taken out like due to weirder circumstances too. I guess Dwight not really, but like Dan gets taken out technically pre-merge. Tim gets taken out in a split tribal. Dan, honest to God, Alliance Steamroll season. I mean, yeah, I guess we haven't really had this in a bit, right? If that is the case. Only impressive move Ace did was flipping Maddie. He also got benefited by JC quitting. Did he get benefited by JC quitting? I mean, I guess he got benefited in the sense that, yeah, it allowed him to have, yeah, it did benefit him. But it's not like he was going home when JC quit, though. But yeah, it did benefit him, and like so that the next, like so that he could get to a group of 5 where he would have a potential 3. Because like without that, obviously GC would be the 3rd with Kenny and Crystal. So yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm at least going down here. And I don't know, maybe this is a spot where maybe I do knock Ace to the bottom of this. Because these players were in better positions pre-swap than Ace was. What about... What about Ace with Dwight? Is that like a decent comparison? Like Dwight, like both weren't really in like the initial majority, but ended up surviving like a decent bit. Found like allies at points. Still get flipped on by their own people. I think that kind of makes sense to me. Is maybe Ace with Dwight. Bradley's a better version of Ace. I wouldn't agree with that. Like Bradley was swapped into a majority like twice and gets flipped on by his own people by the end. Which I guess like Ace gets flipped on by his own people, but like at least Ace was like able to pick up Maddie in a spot where he was swap screwed. Like Bradley was never swap screwed. Where exactly in this? I kind of see it going both ways between him and Dwight. Like, I have more faith in Dwight. But, like, based on what we actually saw... I might lean Dwight, generally. Like, I think Dwight... Like, because, like, if we're talking about, like, Ace picking up Maddie, like, Dwight was able to pick up, like, Owen and Janine. And it's, like, he technically picks up more people at, like, the merge than Ace does. Bradley was still in a way better position, and unlike Ace, it wasn't his closest ally that flipped on him. Like, I guess, but I mean, too fair, I think that's more of a sugar thing than anything about like his closest ally flipping on him. But it was like two of his closer allies that flipped on, like Chelsea, who was with the entire post swap phase, and then Dom, who's someone that like Bradley stuck his neck out to save in the pre merge, or like the pre swap. But yeah, I think I am gonna go Dwight above Ace, at least. Part of me is also debating, like, should I just put him here, maybe? But, like in terms of the swap screwed players. Just, like, put him around there. Yeah, again, we already know about Kamu HOH. Like, you're, like, 20 minutes late to that, but yeah. Fucking depressing. Allen also flipped Devin. Yeah, but Allen Ball wasn't swap screwed, though. Like, I think that's a slightly different situation where, like, it was fighting over one. Like, it's like, it was 2v2 with them fighting over Devin. Like, this is a spot where, like, Maddie had no reason to side with Ace. Like, Ace was down, what? Technically, after the Jackie vote, he was down 5-1. Or 5-2. No, 4-2? 4-2. Either way, it's like, I think that's more impressive to flip over Maddie there than it is for Allen to flip over Devin when someone had to flip over Devin. Like, that was a position where they were, like, everyone was fighting for Devin. Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm settling with him with Dwight. I don't know what tier or what column that is, but it's whatever. Things I don't think Brain Quentin really fits into that at this point. I think that's kind of the thing that's like kind of bothersome. Is Allen's game better than Ace's though? I don't agree with that. Like, they were in the same spot. Like, Allen also was like kind of just this like tag along for the majority group where like he was kind of like kind of being used as like a shield for like Ben and Chrissy. Yeah, but of a group of 6. I stand by. I think Ace is better than Allen. Like, I'm not changing on that. I think if anything, like I can move Ace here, but like I'm definitely not moving Ace lower than that. I'm more so debating right now if the Dwight parallel is fine. I think a lot of it is, but it also is kind of bothering me to split up Dwight and Brandon. No, we're not doing Big Brother power ranking tonight. Again, I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me doing this. This is the only reason I'm here. This is the only thing I'm doing tonight. I wouldn't be here otherwise. I think Kamu has to be number 1 now, right? The power rank is basically just Toolshed and everyone else. Not fully, but like, yeah. I think I am leaning towards moving him here. And I think in general, I'm considering moving. Most of the okay, cool. Like I'm thinking ace there. I think ace with Bradley actually does feel okay. I mean, I know actually they're very different. Generally, they're very different. um, Again, I get your arguments for Alan. I'm not changing. I stand by my view of Alan's game. Let's see. What do I want to do with these people though? Do I just go next? Banana said he wasn't calculated out for BB28. Did we think he was? Like, I never thought he was. Like, did people think he was? Like, I would assume that, like who we got is probably who they contacted. Like, maybe, like, an extra couple Survivor players or something. And, like, Tucker. But, like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting, like, most other people to have gotten called. Especially challenge people. I don't think they give a shit about the challenge. Best HOH, I think Mallory or Jason. So let me think through this. So, like, these are players that were in good starting spots, get swapped out of those good starting spots, and don't get taken out right away. But we're still fairly dead to rights. Like at least like when it comes to Julia, Jill, and Eve, I think like all of them were like primed to be taken out like fairly soon afterwards anyway. Would Tucker go against the Toolshed Alliance? I don't know. I feel like he would work with most of them, at least inherently. But I think Tucker would just get bored and probably eventually flip. Helps every HOH. I mean, like, obviously, it's horrible. Banz doesn't know who Devins and Angela is. Is that true? Or is he lying to save face? Like Angela, I could believe it. Like him not like I don't know. He didn't watch 50 to see D. I don't know. All right, first, I want to make room up here also. I'm trying to remember. What's this other tier here? These are people that actually like did something for the most part, right? Not really, though. Actually. Yeah, my dilemma at this point is, do I move all the pre-merge players down to here? Is what I'm currently debating. Like even these. But like these are pretty like obviously there's still like there's still Jason and or Justin and Jack and them. They're still like a tad higher, but like I think we're I think this grouping is that the end of the pre-mergers at that point. No, Tracy somewhere, right? Where's Tracy? there she is. And I guess Marcus is technically a pre-merger, but call too low. I disagree. I stand by where Carl is. Let's see. We got. Oh, wait, by the way, I didn't mention this, but I checked before stream to see if there were any comments. There weren't any. So, like, okay, I think the thing that's in my head right now is that these players, I kind of want to have potentially above these players in the sense that they were in, like, the majority on their original tribes. These players weren't. I guess, like, Monica is debatable, but, like, Monica also has a shit second appearance. That's, like, really bad. I think once we get to, like, Artis and JP, it's like they weren't in great positions, but they weren't necessarily in bad positions. And the Carl, like, in terms of Carl versus Brandon, it's a spot where Brandon had a more, like, core group of allies that stuck together in his original tribe. Carl was blindsided the first vote. Beyond that, Carl also, like, in terms of, like, his entire handling of the Elizabeth situation, I think it's much worse than, like, Brandon's handling of the Frank situation, because I at least, like, understand Brandon's logic for it. Like, I at least understand why he's doing it. Like, I think Carl is just, like, blowing up his own game for, like, no reason. Like, he's just, like, burning his relationship with Elizabeth and, like, lessening the David numbers for, like, no reason. JP should be above Cole. I don't, because I feel like Cole, if his tribe came into merge with numbers, would have been at the top of the pecking order. JP was always towards the bottom of the pecking order of whatever group he was in. Chance of Rome returning, like, not a lot, just because, like, almost no one returns from Big Brother, especially if you're an early boot, but, like, it's not impossible. Like, obviously Dave Vaughn came back, but it's like, again, that feels like more an anomaly than anything. And, like, David came back, but it's like, I don't know. Maybe Dan Barry. Wait, Dan Barry is there. Maybe this could be the point where... like, Julia, Jill, Eve, at least. Actually, no, they're better than Dan Barry, though. It's like, at least they were, like, actually in a group that, like, listened to them and did what they want. Like, Dan couldn't even get his own fucking group to want to do what he wanted. Maybe this? Maybe around there for, like, Eve and them? Like, this ends up being, like, players that at least made post-merge and, like, had alliances, whether or not they were good alliances or not. They at least, like, or, like, where they were in the alliance, they at least made it to merge with an alliance, and, like, I guess some of them have spotty records, but, like, a lot of it comes from Pagongs. Introduces a booth comp. Well, that's pretty boring. I generally thought it was going to be the black box comp. Should Cole be this much lower than Nick and Austin? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what we do with Nick and Austin. I think the argument for Nick and Austin is that, like, Actually, no. I guess it's kind of a similar thing, actually. I think it is slightly different in the sense that I think Jessica is more the like actual core, and like Cole was kind of a tag along at that point. Where like I think with Austin and Nick, they were like kind of the core together. But yeah, it probably shouldn't be that big of a gap, genuinely. Even though I do think Cole is like a more like flawed actual player, in the sense that like he pissed people off and people didn't really like him on the island. But like, yeah, it probably shouldn't be that big of a gap. But I don't know. We'll see. Um, uh, yeah, I'm thinking this for them. Um, yeah, I think that's fine. Mallory is the pipe queen. That is true. Um, actually, I don't know. I guess like. Okay, what is better? Okay, actually, let me think this through. So, okay, like now I'm debating if maybe they should be above this tier. Because like this is a tier of people that were like on the bottom of their majority groups. Um, like technically, like Jill was on the bottom of her majority group, or like her group. I mean, or like had Jill made merge, like Marty seemingly was going to stay loyal to her to the end. Like it's not like Sarge, where like Sarge was just on the bottom of things. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of. I feel like I'm back on up to here. I think it does stop at this point, where like these people were in good starting positions and still did make the merge. Um, I think the gap between Jill and Marty should be that big. How big is it? Hmm. I mean, yeah. I think we're probably gonna do some adjusting with some of these people. We'll see. Um, 1 HOH. The worst result. All right, let's do that. And then is Amy also there? Amy's like a tad difference, but Amy might still also be there. Where did we start today again? It was like 413 or something, right? Wasn't it? So, again, we're getting so much progress done. Yeah, I think Amy might also just be there, but she's just the top of those people. Okay. Let me see something. Who else is in that Nick and Austin tier again? Brandon Billinger. I actually do feel like maybe Cole is too low. But I don't know how high she should be. I think the issue I have with Cole is that I don't think people respected Cole in the game. So like I feel like with like Nick and Austin, like there are people that if they got to the end, they likely are like viable winners. Same thing with like Brandon Billinger. I'm not sure Cole's exactly that, but I do think Cole should probably be. Maybe Cole should be like. No, actually, no, that's a bit different. Maybe Eric Huffman though. Like maybe that's fair for him to be like Eric Huffman level. But Eric Huffman also survived the way more tribals though. So yeah, I think that's still pretty different. Um, Maybe Steve Wright? No, that's also kind of different, but like, oh, maybe that's a more fair assessment. You see, I am feeling like Cole might be too low now. Like based on the current criteria of as like positioning was good enough. Jessica, I don't even remember. Where the fuck's Jessica? She's here. Which I think in retrospect, yeah, maybe Austin and Nick need to move down. Like I think it's still a spot where like Jessica's like untested technically. Like we never see her go to tribal, where we do see Austin and Nick like go to tribals and like get Terry to do what they want. But yeah, I think they probably should move down. Wow, we'll get to that when we get to them though. But yeah, I am thinking Cole should probably be adjusted here. I think with that we'll get rid of this. I think putting Jonas in this tier then feels fine with like Penny Ramsey and Julie Wolfe. Where Jonas is one that I just don't know where his actual, like where he really was in the power structure. Like I can't really gauge it. Like if I knew that he was like Colton's #1 and like they were going to go to the end together for sure, it's like, okay, maybe I'll give him a bit of a boost. But like, I think currently I'm not like 100% sure on that. So yeah, I'll just leave him there. Yeah, then we got, wait, actually we'll put Cole here, I guess. Yeah, these three might be next. I don't know. Do I leave off Katie Collins? Like, I kind of want to give her a bit of credit for, like, how many tribals she goes to. I'm trying to remember. Is there another, like, I think Angela might have gone. Yeah, okay. There's a couple people that went to 10. But Katie is the person that went to the most tribals, though. Out of anyone on the list so far. Well, I guess until Brand Hands. So I kind of want to give her like a little boost because of that, but I feel like maybe have I given her too much boost at this point, or like enough boost? Like I'll Master Jonas in the video, maybe. What was that update? I want to see if we can convince him to put up Devins. Yeah, that's not happening. Mallory and Lyric were close to winning. Well, that's depressing then. So Rory, let me think about this, about Rory and Randy. Yeah, I think Rory is worse than Katie, right? Like, Rory does survive a soft screw. And to be fair, I guess Katie survives a soft screw through pregame relationships. But still, ultimately, like, still survives, like, way longer in the post-merge. Like, Rory was, like, taken out by his own, by the people that he, like, bonded with in the post-swap at the merge. So that's still not great. And, like, he was still also at the bottom of his own alliance. See, I don't know if he fits into a specific tier, but he kind of does feel like the next person, though. Like, to me, he does feel next in line after this. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with Randy. Where Randy's someone that like is technically voting with the majority on his original tribe. Like theoretically, if they go to another tribal, like he was still going to be in the majority. He then swaps and then finds himself in the new majority, and then obviously still gets Pagong at the end. Like obviously Randy's like a confrontational player and everything, but um, like there is a decent amount of fluidity that first time around, but then we get a second appearance and it's bad. Um, so I'm not sure where that lands him. Like I could see him being higher, genuinely. Um, should he be that much lower than a Debbie Wanner? I guess too for Debbie Wanner made it like post merge twice. Randy didn't. Here's the villains. Um, yeah, like he was definitely disfavored pregame wise. Like there was a like all finalists like alliance that came together pregame that was like um that was a disfavored Randy there, and also him being like the older guy and that sort of stuff. It's like he wasn't like particularly well positioned at all in that season. Um, and like I don't believe he had many connections at all in that season. Like I think he just had coach, right? Um, so yeah, it's like pregame wise, he was definitely not in a great spot. Um, see, I'm considering like I think like this is kind of like a grouping of players I'm not willing to let go yet. I think it's kind of how I'm feeling about these people here. Um, should I just clump them together? Like I think as long as I remember that, yeah, this is like the group I'm not letting go yet. Then it's like it's fine, just put them together, right? They're not ranked, by the way. This is just a grouping of people. Yeah, like I feel like leaving Rory there feels like Rory like feels like kind of like a middle ground of this and this. Actually, no, not that. This he feels like more like he's like a mix of this Amy O'Hara tier and the Sarge tier. Um, maybe that means he should be closer to here though. Maybe he should be below Julie, Penny, and Jonas. But like Rory probably is like dragged to 3 though. Like but it's also him being dragged more so than like his alliance, like his people actually wanting him there. But like if the men like came into merge with numbers, it's like from what I understand, it was like Chris's plan was to like him and Bubba were gonna take out Sarge, then Chad, and then like leave Rory to 3 and then take him out at 3. But like that's kind of a different 3 than like Julie, Penny, and Jonas. Or I don't know about Jonas, but like I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna move him down to this, and I think I make a new tier for him and Amy. As like these players that were able to do good work in the post swap phase. So yeah, I think that's. I just want to double check. I did start at 413, right? Yeah, dude. I've only done like 9 people or something then, right? How many people have I done? 10. I've done 10 fucking people. In an hour and 40 minutes, I've done 10 people. Cool. All right. Let's get this fucking train wreck. So it's a better body count than Dirk had, sure. He's putting up what, Latrice, what was it, Mallory and Jason, which is boring as fuck. Yeah. All right. Rudy. How do I even assess Rudy in this? It's like, let's see. So like Rudy's track record. It's like, technically it's spotless, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tribals he survives in his first season. And is in the majority technically for all of them. I think I dock him a point for the Stacy tribal. But like, obviously he's in the game for a very long time, survives a while. Like, I don't think I can have Brandon above Rudy, right? Or maybe I can't. I don't know. I guess it's like a spot where, like, Rudy on paper is probably a better player, but also Rudy was like almost booting the pre-merge. Brandon, and like was actually booting the pre-merge in All-Stars. Brandon, like, starting fresh is probably like not likely a pre-merge, like, more times than not. If I don't fault Mike Barassi for being unlikely medevac every season, I'm not doing that for Rudy. I'm more so faulting the fact that he would be actually voted out, like not be medevac. I think the issue is that like he would be voted out every season, where like Mike Barassi didn't get voted out. And we'll never know if he actually would have been voted out or not. White Lotus is definitely coming back. I'll be very surprised if it doesn't. I don't even know if looking up Jan is really that important here, but whatever. And also, like, I don't know, am I factoring in the, if we're factoring in All-Stars, it's what, 10 out of 11? I think I should have been counting the boot tribals the entire time. I haven't, like, I didn't because I started off not. I think in retrospect I should have. I think it would have made more sense to do that. But whatever at this point. But generally his record is, like, pretty close to Brandon's, right? Jan does have a few in the or maybe just one? Oh, I guess just one. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Survives 8 tribals, votes correctly 7 of them, right? Then we have Lydia. Oh, we're fucking at Lil. Kind of forgot about Lil. Wait, we got Lydia here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 tribals. Does she have a perfect record? I didn't realize that about Lydia. That's kind of insane. That she somehow has a perfect record. Okay, good for Lydia. Then we got Lil. Lil goes to 1, 2, 3. I think I'll include her boot tribal. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do I include final? I don't, right? Yeah. Yeah, 10, and then she's on the outs for 2. I think only 2, so 8 out of 10, which isn't horrible. How's Ryu compared to Jane? I think Jane's better in the sense that Jane was not voted out in the pre-merge, or like was not close to getting voted out in the pre-merge. I I think it's one that, like, on paper, Jane, like, could be argued as worse because she's, like, more confrontational and that sort of thing. But yeah, I think Jane's, like, for this list will be better. All right, then we got Denise. Might as well just open multiple of these, right? What was it? Denise, and then Susie on Gabon, Dan Lembo, and Mike. Let's see what we're looking up. Okay. So, who is this again? This is Denise. So she goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She survives 8 tribals. Is voting correctly at all but the Jean Robert vote. Then again, should she be voting that way? But either way. Then we got Susie, who I'm assuming has the rockiest record here. Actually, maybe not. She might actually vote in the majority most times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And, well, I mean, 9. Or am I including... No, we're including 10. She's voting correctly. Is it all? Yeah, she literally is 10 out of 10, isn't she? I mean, like, obviously the fire making of it all, but I'm not really... You know, actually, I won't even factor it in. I don't think that's even worth factoring in. We got Dan Lembo, which I would be surprised if Dan Lembo doesn't have the rockiest record, but we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So also survives 10 tribals. Wow, I generally thought he was in the majority for way less tribals, but yeah, he's what, 8 out of 10? I generally thought it was gonna be worse. And then we have Dr. Mike is the last one here. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Survives 7 tribals. Votes correctly at 1, 2. I'll give him this one 3. Yeah, 4. I think just 4 out of 7. Do I give him credit for his boot tribal, actually? I might. You know, I'll give him credit for his boot tribal. I mean, like, he was technically idled out to a degree. Anyway. Alright. This is what we're working with. I love my first instinct is Dr. Mike worse? Is Dr. Mike... Yeah, should Dr. Mike even be this high? I don't know. So, with a lot of these other ones, I kind of get what I was going for. There were all these players that made it, like, very deep into the game. Though their win equities very much vary, right? Like, Lil... Like, in terms of jury threats, I would say, like, Lil, Denise, and Susie are probably closer together. Denise, I generally don't know how Denise, like, I think Denise struggles to win, right? Like, she definitely gets a couple votes, but I don't know if she wins China in most situations. Where, like, Rudy was very close to winning, Lydia was very close to winning, Dan Lembo was theoretically close to winning, Jan was theoretically close to winning. And then I think Dr. Mike's just different than these. Like, I don't even think he's really, like, too comparable. The thing is, do I want to have Dr. Mike below Cole, though? I think that's maybe a potential issue. I think also having Randy. You know what? Actually, I think something we should do. Maybe instead of like just clumping all these people together and waiting to put them, I think we should actually probably just actually put them where we think they're going to be. Because I think otherwise it'll probably just lead to me like hanging on to them for way too long. But yeah, Randy Bailey. What do I want to do with Randy Bailey? Like I do think he's a fairly fluid player. In the sense that he's able to, especially in Gabon in particular, like obviously his second appearance is just bad, but I don't know how much to really fault him for it. I kind of can see like is him and Kane that unreasonable? I really like him versus Marty is also kind of interesting. Actually, Randy versus Cedric is kind of interesting to a degree. But I think, again, my gut is to move Randy up quite a bit, actually. Like, obviously, Heroes of Villains is not good, but I don't know how much to really, like, fully fault him for it. And, like, even though he was bad socially at points, there was also, like, actually some pretty, like, decent play on Gabon. I think I'm leaning towards putting him with Marty. Which, like, Marty might move down also, but yeah, I think my gut... Okay, cool. I think my gut is to land him close to Marty. Let's do this, actually. I'm just, like, looking at things to, like, make sure, like, I'm not, like... Yeah, because, like, Randy versus Vetus, actually... I feel like that's not actually a horrible comparison. Even though, like, Vetus feels like a better player on paper, I actually feel like that doesn't sound that bad. Yeah, Mike's early game in particular is like really bad. Like he kind of recovers like a decent. Like I think like his mid game is like not horrible. And like he is idled out of the game. So like it's like his back like 2/3 is like okay, but his first like third is pretty horrible. Yeah. Katie Collins. Where am I ultimately gonna land her? Like who's her closest like parallel right now? Maybe like a Haley Ford, and like maybe Haley Ford's gonna go down, but I don't think that's really a 1-for-1. But still, I don't think I'm going this high on Katie. Oh, maybe like not really Butch. Maybe Purple Desi for Katie. I think he's better than Desi though. Like actually. maybe this level, maybe like Frosty, Jenna, Libby. Maybe that makes more sense for Katie. If anything, like possibly even higher than that. I don't know. But yeah, I think her and Jenna actually feels kind of like okay. I guess the difference though is that Jenna started off in a better position than Katie did. I think that would be the argument against. But also, it's not like Jenna was in a good spot, like, really any time after her starting tribe. Or, like, Katie at least did get into a good spot, like, mid-game. So, yeah. I think that feels okay for now for me. Cole Metters. Cole's something I really feel like I can go kind of all over the place. Maybe he should be closer to, like, Dave Johnson, at least. Yeah, because I don't really see why he would be below Dave Johnson, at least. Like, Purple Desi's there. Which, if anything, he's better than Purple Desi. Again, in retrospect, maybe here. With, like, I don't know if Hunter's a great parallel, but, like, Jay Byers, Benry. I think we'll do that for now, and then we'll deal with him when we get to him again. And we have Brandon Hance, who what do I want to do with Brandon Hance? Maybe like Debbie level. Also, I think Tarzan's here, by the way. I think Tarzan I'm probably dropping off in this tier. I generally like Tarzan's probably just the worst of these. Tarzan's actually kind of interesting because I actually think between him and Denise, I can kind of argue it either way. Largely because I think like Tarzan like at least like shows like a level of like survival instinct and the fact that he's willing to like flip over to the women and vote with them for a bit. Where like Denise is someone that's like not willing to flip and kind of like rides it out to her detriment. So like I don't know, maybe that is more of a Denise than Tarzan thing. His mid game is pretty bad. Pretty much removed himself from a good spot by calling out the majority at tribal and wasting an idol. Are we talking about like we're talking about like the Cole boot, right? Like to me, that's still like his early game, especially so he doesn't go to tribal until the like we're talking about Mike. Dr. Mike, by the way. But yeah, like when I was thinking about mid game, I was thinking like JP boot to like what was that Lauren boot. I was thinking like that kind of stretch. I was thinking like mid merge. I guess it's probably a better way to phrase it. Yeah, I'm thinking these two are probably next. Actually, is there why is Denise so much higher than Ted? That's kind of interesting, actually. Yeah, like, is Denise really that much better than Ted? I guess she didn't sexually assault people. I guess that's something. But in terms of like placement in the alliance and everything, it's like, yeah, is she that much better? I guess like she's fourth instead of fifth. Like but she was still like on the bottom and had like opportunities to make moves and never did it, and was like told by people that you need to make a move and then never makes a move. Um, So I think I am considering dropping her here. Denise versus Boo. I think Boo at least made a move, right? Yeah. Like I don't know. I think yeah, Denise kind of pisses me off. Where I'm thinking about dropping her. I don't even like generally. I don't even think there's that. Like I think there's an argument that Denise is worse than Ted. I don't know. I think I am gonna go here for Denise. Cool. There we go. Yeah. I don't think that feels that bad. I think Tarzan. I still stand by the fact that I'm leaving Tarzan here. I'm okay. So yeah, also Dr. Mike, I think I'm moving down. I do just generally think Dr. Mike kind of sucks. What was the grouping of players that were like almost first boots again?
Fuck!
Okay, cool. Fuck me, dude. Thank you for follow. Where is I mean, like, it's way down though, right? What was that group? I remember there was a group we were talking about. Like, these people were almost first boots, and it was like a pretty decent grouping of people that made it like kind of far. I mean, there's Saul and Nasir. Is that what I was thinking of? Man, that's a pretty big drop, though. Oh yeah, where's Jawan? Yeah, that actually feels better. Yeah, Jawan's here. Yeah, Burton. Yeah, I think that feels better, right? Like closer to Jawan. Like, I think he's probably. Is he better? Actually, no. I was gonna say I think he's better, but I don't know if he is. Okay, let's play this out. Like if I do move him to where Jawan is, which is here, who's he moved below? Like, is there anyone that he moves below that I'm like, that's not right? He moves below JP, which like, I don't know, maybe. Below Alan Ball feels a bit weird, but also again, he was supposed to be the first boot. Alan Ball wasn't, so that's something. Yeah, I don't feel that bad about that. Yeah, I guess he could have won, and I guess he was further too. Like in comparison to Jawan, like he at least made a final 5. Jawan only made final 8. Yeah, let me see. Let's put Dr. Mike here first for now. Was his record 5-8? I mean, he was. Yeah, I'm debating how much credit I want to give him for his recovery. In comparison to Jawan. I guess, like, I think I actually do give him a little bit more credit. No, not necessarily. Okay, no, I think it's about the same. Because, yeah, Mike's position on his swap tribe is the same as Jawan's on his first swap tribe. Where's Jomena, actually? Jomena's still lower, right? Yeah, he's still down there. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling this is okay. Like, I feel like I'm going to put him above Jawan because of the fact that he got so close to the end, but I don't feel that bad about moving him here. Yeah, he's much better than Joe. Like, Joe's like still what, 40 spots below him. Also, I don't know if he's much better, but like I think he is better. I think he's in a tier with fucking Burton now. Brendan Sincott's just on his own. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I feel okay with that. Genuinely. Who's the other person? Brain Hands. We still need to figure out what Brain Hands is. Like, he was in the majority for a lot of the season, but also, you know, I think Brain Hands. Maybe I will leave Brain Hands with Rudy here. Like, I still think I have to deduct him for Karamoan and like how like disastrous that is. No, actually, no. In comparison to Rudy, the credit is that he was never going to be an early boot on that season, where Rudy almost was on both of his seasons. So I think that's the thing to call out. Yeah, I'm not sure how much credit I want to give to Brain Enhance though. Rudy was also less likely to commit arson. That is true. I don't know how much that factors in him as a survivor player. By the way, it's almost 3 fucking o'clock. That's insane. Dan Foley is here. Which maybe that's more of a criticism of Dan Foley being too high, but yeah, I think this is like way too high at that point. Like, if he didn't have a second appearance, I think he's here. Like, based on just his first appearance, I think he's like Grant Matos level. And I don't know, maybe worse because he gives up immunity or whatever. But like, again, generally, like, he is up here if it isn't for his second appearance. I'm thinking I move him up to here for now and then reassess when we get there. I think is what my current feeling is. Yeah, I think we do that for now. Dan Foley was a fat guy. Bamboo is hollow. It won't stay. Yeah, I think Susie and I think Susie and Lil, I'm probably putting with Tarzan here. I guess let's do for Lil. You could actually argue being higher. I think the fact that she, I guess too for she survives 2 tribals pre-merge before getting voted out. Like that's something. Susie, gets to the end, but was kind of fortunate at that. High is 420. Oh, thank God, high is 420. Actually, I didn't realize that. That's actually pretty funny. That 420 is high. Yeah, I think that just has to be the case now. I can't change it. And 420 has to be high. Yeah, I think Susie Lil. Let me think this through, actually. Maybe I go this grouping above? I don't know. It's like, I feel like Jan is more of a, like, Tarzan, actually. Like, I feel like that feels like a better parallel. Just like Jan is a Tarzan that could win. Or like, I feel like Dan Lembo, like, feels worse. But, like, also could win. So I'm like, but also got, like, very fortunate to even come close to winning. Because, like, if it wasn't for the double quit, he doesn't, right? Yeah, I'm thinking Dan Lembo below Jan. And then yeah, Rudy's just really difficult to assess because, like, I don't know how much I should dock him for like having to get saved by Mark Burnett. By the way, I think Lydia is the best of these. And then it's like figuring out where Rudy is. Or if it wasn't for Mark Burnett, Rudy's theoretically the second boot of the season. And then we actually see him be the second boot of the season in All Stars. I'm thinking Lydia over Rudy. Like, I'm thinking that might be what I do. Is like maybe have Lydia and Rudy. I don't know. I guess Lydia's a bit different though. Because like Rudy, like again, gets very lucky in that spot, but outside of that, like played a pretty decent game in the fact that he was like with the majority alliance that was kind of running things. And like Rudy was like never actually in danger until that final 4. Which like that's kind of impressive within the post-merge game. Maybe Rudy and Lil, actually. Maybe I go with that. Um, like maybe Lydia is here, and I need to figure out what I'm doing with Susie. Um, what is like Susie versus Lydia? Um, I think is an interesting debate in the sense that like I think Susie's navigation through the game is probably better, but Lydia had more win equity. Like Lydia or like Susie was meant to be a Final Four boot though, so like I think that's a criticism of her. Um, she doesn't end up like going through. Actually, she doesn't go. She goes to less tribals than Lydia. Yeah, maybe I do go. Susie here then. Or maybe even lower. Maybe lower than Jan. I don't know. Susie versus Jan. Jan comes one challenge away from winning the game. Susie doesn't. At least do that. I think I'll go with something like this. I think Dan and Tarzan feel kind of similar. Dan being a Tarzan that can win. I think Susie, like I think Jan and Lydia are players that had like less influence in the game, but like still voted correctly and were like with the majority for most of the season, but like um can go to the tail end. Or like Susie's kind of like a middle ground, someone that like got to the end but couldn't win, but also got to the end due to lucky circumstances, but outside that had like some decent navigation through the game. Like I think this is a breakdown that feels okay to me. And then I still need to figure out where Lil and Rudy are. I never knew Kamu's real name is Gabe. Is that a thing? I thought it was like, wasn't it like, I thought it was like a long name that started with a K. Um, oh. Wait next. Lil, yeah, Lil. Maybe I go Lil. So I know his was it his? I don't know why I'm clicking on PTSD to do this, but whatever. Like you look up BB28 and like, yeah, he's listed as Camuella or whatever. It's like, did he change his name to that? Like, was he born Gabriel and then changed his name to this? Um, oh. Yeah, Rudy or Lil. What a dilemma. Yeah, let's do this. I think Dan, Tarzan here. Let's do that. Let's do Jan, Lydia there, and then I think Susie probably is just the middle ground there. It's one of his middle names. That's something. He doesn't look like a Gabe. Actually, I don't know. I kind of can't see Gabe Kirk. Maybe I can see that to a degree. Okay, I'm currently feeling like these people probably are moving down, by the way, but we'll see. Like Rudy and Lil. I'm really like, even though this doesn't sound right, like I am actually really close between Rudy and Lil. We're like yeah, Rudy feels like the more like sound player. But again, Lil did really control that like end game stretch. Then if Kama can deliver an interesting, exciting HOH, but Gabe can, I don't agree. I think neither can. I think we're set up for a boring HOH either way. Oh, thank God. I've seen that Yash is happy that Kamu won. Thank God. Yash and Devin celebrated. Thank God. Dude. What a shit week this is going to be. I think I'm going to land on Rudy then Lil. I think it's where my head is at. Okay. Dude, we're almost at the halfway point, kind of. Yeah, all right. We're at this tier, which is a bit of a train wreck. I don't know what the fuck this tier is. Of Gretchen Cordy, Dave Johnson, Russell Swan, Desi, and Tevin. What a combination. All right. So Gretchen's voting record, I feel like I can do top of mind. That's 3 out of 3, right? Like she also gets voted out her 4th. Dave Johnson. I'm not gonna fault him for the Ryan vote. So I think he's 3 out of 4. He's only on the Roger vote, right? Russ Swan. Well, Russ Swan's just weird. We'll talk about him later. Desi. I don't even know how the fuck I factor in. Actually, wait. Does Desi vote anyone out? I just realized that I don't think Desi votes a single player out, does she? Yash in a good spot. He's on a good spot for longevity, maybe. Good spot to win the game, no. Oh wait, no, she does vote out Allen. I forgot she does vote out Allen, but like it was meant to vote out Allen. Yeah, so that's kind of a weird spot. Tevin. Yeah, only goes to like I'll give him 2 out of 2 for that, but to be fair, I guess Tevin would have like controlled more votes if he went to tribals in the pre-merge. Russ Swan was what 1? Yeah, went to one tribal in Samoa, got his like voted in the majority, but like didn't really want that to happen, right? And then he technically has a perfect record here, but it's not like it's that good. It's like on paper it's a 4 out of 4 record, but like reality is more like a 2 out of 4 record because like 2 of those votes he didn't even want to go that way. Is the way it's kind of with Russ Swan. Okay, so this is a bit of a train wreck of a tier. I'm leaning towards all these people moving down. We'll see though. like, I guess the argument for Gretchen, especially over Rudy and Lil, is that she was controlling her original tribe, which I think that's definitely something to credit her for. Um, which I think is fair, actually. To where I think we are at the point in the list where, like, how many people do we have that have, like, that were really controlling their tribe at the beginning of the game? Like, as the, like, main figurehead that was, like, leading the votes. It's like, I don't even know if there is one outside the swap screws. Well, I guess, like, Roger and them. Like Roger Colton, Joel, Silas, like those players. And again, Gretchen's a better player on paper, at least, than them. What exactly is this tier? Like, none of them, like, they were in the majority, they weren't running things. Like, Gretchen versus Rudy is just a weird one, where I landed on Gretchen above Rudy before, but I don't know if I feel that way still. I think I'm kind of leaning towards. I don't know. It's like, I think these players had, like, obviously were in, like, dominant alliances that controlled the post merge, where, like, Gretchen obviously didn't make it to post merge, or, like, much of the post merge, but, like, she controlled the pre merge. Or, like, I think that's probably better than these people who didn't really control much of anything. So it's like, maybe here, but also, like, Lil and Rudy got voted out, so that's the other thing. Yeah, we ranked Rome earlier. Where did I put him? Where did I put him again? Oh, here with, like with Cappy. Generally, he probably should be lower. He probably, like, I think he probably should be closer to, like, Paloma and Riley. Maybe, like, here. I think that probably makes more sense. Like, him one spot above Riley. Oh, wait, we're talking about Rome from Survivor? Yeah, he was, like, a long time ago. Where the fuck is Rome from Survivor? Wait. There he is. He's with Bruce. He's at, like, what, 679. That was, like, 200, like, almost 300 people ago. Gretchen compared to Cedric. Yeah, there's not that much of a difference, is there? I think there is, but, like, not a lot. Maybe there isn't that much of a difference, actually. Yeah, I guess they were both, like, the top people on their tribes. I guess, like, the difference would be that I don't know how much, like, Cedric was controlling votes. Where, like, Gretchen was a lot more involved in, like where the votes ultimately landed than, like, because I feel like Cedric was more of, like, a swing to a degree than anything. I don't know. It's not like Cedric. I don't think Cedric, like, pushes his agenda. He just, like, went with Justin most of the time. Where, like, I feel like Gretchen is more of the one that, like, pushes the agenda, but, like, I think that should make her better, right? it's tough. Yeah, I guess fair. Yeah, I was thinking more so just on original Vula. What the fuck was that tribe? Green tribe. Um, but yeah, I guess he did on the Bianca vote, even though I don't think that was a good move. But still, yeah, I'll leave Gretchen here. I think. I still think the problem, like Gretchen, still. I think a problem for Gretchen over Cedric is that she was the biggest target coming into the merge for her side. I mean, I guess not necessarily. Actually, I guess like Greg could have been targeted over her if he didn't win immunity. So I don't know. Whatever. Okay, I think I am settling on above Rudy then, at least. Um, then Dave Johnson, I think is probably also in this ballpark. Um, Dave's interesting in the sense that I don't think he. So like Dave is in there one that I think he was like the main like I guess like towards the end of the game at least, I think he was like the main player on his side of like him, Roger, Butch. Like we see like Dave doing a lot more of the work to like pull over Heidi. Dave also like put in a lot of work to try to save himself. That was like decent. But position wise though, he's technically more of like this, right? Or like more of like a Julie in the sense that he was like kind of the third wheel to Butch and Roger. But again, I do think he was pushing his agenda more. But even then, he didn't want Ryan out, and he relented there. Um, so I don't know. Do I want to move him down here? Um, I'm thinking I will. Yeah, I'm leaning towards moving him down there. I'm trying to remember who was that was in my head of. Oh yeah, Cole. I guess yeah. Like what is the difference between Cole and Dave Johnson? Like they both were pretty big targets coming into the merge. Um, I guess like Dave was third, Cole was second, but like, is that big of a deal? Yeah, we're in the 300s. We might make the halfway point tonight. Probably not though. We'll see. I think I'm gonna try to make it my goal to make it to the halfway point. Um, uh, I think there's an argument that he is better than Gretchen, even though. Hmm. Let's do that. Who else would be in this conversation with Dave? Hmm. I'm leaning towards moving Cole back down to where Dave is. I don't think there's that big of a gap between the two. If anything, I think Dave might be better. I don't know. It's about where like Cole's slightly better positioned, but I feel like Dave came off as the better player. Like I think we see Dave do more. Like I think Cole does more wrong than Dave. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe doing this and then like try to figure out where they land after that. Where it's like, are they above or below Gretchen? I think is also a debate. Russ Swan, I think probably just moves down based on current criteria. Like Russ Swan is kind of a glorified Sarge, right? He's like, I think his first appearance is essentially he's like Sarge level. Then he comes back, and then he's able to survive like a good amount of tribals, but like it doesn't really mean that much in the grand scheme of things because like a lot of it's based on physicality and whatnot. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe like here with like Rory, like maybe Rory, Amy O'Hara, level. Like maybe give him a bit of a boost. Like maybe put him at the top of that grouping. Who's the glorified Matt Williams? Who's a glorified Matt Williams? Like, who's someone that, like, is looked at as good, but did the exact same thing Matt Williams did? Maybe, like, did it later in the game, but, like, did what Matt Williams did. I guess, like, I don't know, Desiree is someone that comes to mind, but, like, I don't know if that's the actual answer, because I don't know who's, like, talking that highly of Desiree. Where's Bubba? We're not quite there yet. He's coming up, but also like, yeah, he's fairly soon, isn't he? Yeah, he's here. I'm currently contemplating like what I'm exactly doing to these people because I think my instinct is probably to move them down slightly. The like this like grouping of like the better pre-mergers, but we'll see. I don't know if Bubba's even talked about that highly though. I think Bubba just is the Matt Williams. Like I don't think there's anything glorified about it. But yeah, I think Russ Swan. I'm moving down here. I think he's like, which column am I putting him in? This one. Yeah, I think he is kind of like a slightly better Rory. Yeah. I think his second game is very Rory-esque. His first game is like technically better, but still like it's essentially like his second game is like Rory. His first game is like Sarge, and I guess that combines to put him here. So yeah. What is the next one? Purple Desi. Purple Desi, I think, is worse. Like my instinct is that she's worse than Cole and Dave Johnson. Like Cole and Dave Johnson were towards the top of their pecking orders, and like for Desi, it's like it's a little bit more unknown. Like Desi was like fine on her original try, but I don't know if Desi was like because like I feel like Cole was more at the top than Desi. Like again, there was like an all women's alliance. Like Desi was definitely one of Jessica's options, but I think Cole was her main option. And also like, and I guess to be fair, Cole had immunity during the round that Desi went home, so like, again, Cole could have been taken out there, and Cole could have been a target before Desi. But still, I feel like ultimately, I think based on their like starting position, I would say Cole is better than Desi. But maybe it's not by that much. Because I was thinking about moving her like down here, but maybe I do just leave her here with them, but just like at the bottom. Yeah, which one's better? Like, is she more like Julie Wolf Penny, or is she more Cole Dave Johnson? I think I'm leaning more Cole Dave Johnson, but just at the bottom. Um, yeah, the problem with Desi is that like she's not really tested in her original group, so because that makes it like a lot more speculative on where she was in the game. Aubrey might be worse than Matt Williams, sure. Um, Clearly. I think. Well, I don't know because like, is Desi really better than these people who go to more tribals, could win at the end? But I guess that could be said about all these people. Um, okay. I think what I'm gonna do. I think I am gonna put Desi here, but I think I'm gonna definitely take consideration moving these people down to here. Is what I'm currently feeling. What the fuck am I doing with Tevin? Like, I generally don't know what I'm doing with Tevin. Like, part of me actually wants to move him up a bit, but also part of me is like, no. Like, like Tevin's game is one that's like very sloppy, but I think he demonstrates like so many skills for a game. Like, he's just so loved socially. And like, he had like so much social capital, but like he just used it in all the wrong ways. Um, I'm kind of leaning him with Gretchen, is what kind of makes sense to me. Is like, both of them were in like very, very strong starting positions. Were kind of running their original tribes. Um, but then obviously doesn't last. And I think Tevin deserves more of the blame for it not lasting. But I guess, to be fair with Tevin, it's like he at least got through some post merge votes. Um, Different version of High. I don't think they're that similar. Like, Tevin ran his original tribe. High was on the bottom of his original tribe and gets lucked out into even like getting any semblance of power. Um, yeah, it's like I don't think they're similar at all, genuinely. Um, I think I'm doing something like this. Both use power poorly. Yeah, but I think Tevin has more power to use. um, and like earned a lot more of that power than High did. Where High just like kind of stumbled into that power. Um, okay. Um, yeah, I think that's good to move down now. Thank God we have our answer of who's number 400. Thank God it's Julie Wolf. Oh no, Jonas didn't make top 400. Can't believe it. Okay, then we got this tier. How many more do we have until halfway? So 12 here. So we have 12 more people to halfway. So I need to get through the Randon tier, it looks like. Which, I don't know, maybe. We'll see. All right, Butch, Jamie, Purple Kelly, Debbie, and Scott Pollard. What a grouping. Butch Butch is interesting in the sense that he was like technically positioned to win on his original tribe. Like had his original tribe, like had his original alliance stuck true, and he got to that final 3. It's like he's in a pretty good spot to win. Like again, like Roger takes him, he beats Roger. He probably loses to Dave, but Dave probably takes him, right? So it's like he's in a pretty good spot there. Vote record's kind of all over the place, if I remember right. But like it could be worse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tribal survived, and votes out 7. So 7 out of 9. I don't know if Butch should be this far apart from like these people. Like, is he really that much better than them? Like, he probably just is in this, like, Lydia Jan level in my mind. But we'll see. I'll move them around after I do the rest in this tier. So we have Jamie Newton, Purple Kelly, and then Korong. Who was it again? I already forgot. It was Jamie. Jamie goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Survives 6 tribals. Is on the right side for all of them. So that's something. I forgot that was the thing about this tier too. Well, I guess outside of Kelly. Actually, no, I guess really it's really just a Jamie Butch thing of like they were playing optimally for their like optimal end game. For whatever that's worth. Poor Kelly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tribals. Is on the right side for 5. So 5 out of 6. I hate that the auto color thing happens. We got Debbie's gonna be a train wreck. Go wrong. We have Scott 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is on the right side for 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. I'll give him 5 out of 7, I guess. And then Debbie goes to 1, 2. Wow, Debbie only goes to Debbie only survives 2 tribals in the pre-merge. I didn't realize that. Or in Go Wrong, I mean. That's kind of insane. Okay, cool. Wrong one. So yeah, she goes to way more in Game Changers then, right? She goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Okay, maybe not even that much more. Taylor, is your alliance real? Who'd she say that to? The Kamu? I see Haley's bothered by Kamu not picking Lala as a have-not. That's something. Which one? That is insane. Yeah, that's an insane thing to say. Yeah. Again, master play from D. But yeah, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's 5 out of 5 though, right? For Debbie there. So like Debbie actually has like a perfect voting record outside of the time she's voted out. So that's something. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so Butch. Oh, Butch feels like he's a better version of this. Like he's better than Tarzan and Dan Lembo. I would say he's probably better than Susie in that world as well. Um, okay, cool. I don't know if I want to give him the full credit of like Lil and okay, wait, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm okay. These selected. Like he is like kind of in now the majority got points to where. I do feel like he's probably closer to like this ballpark than he is to like Rudy and Lil, who like were in the dominant positions for parts of the game. Where like Butch isn't someone that like even at like the Chrissy vote he's blindsided. So like that's not great. See, I'm debating him or Lydia. I think Lydia was more. Nah, actually, no. I think I'll go Butch over Jan, but below Lydia. Or maybe I even like go below. Okay, maybe I even go below Jan. Jan is someone that like technically almost wins. Like she's like, if she, but then she didn't really have a path though, did she? But I guess like neither did Butch, considering Matthew wasn't even taking him. Um, but he was playing optimally, right? He was trying to go to the final two that he could win. Yeah, I'll go Butch above Jan. I think it's pretty close though. We'll do this. Okay. Then we have what exactly am I doing with Purple Kelly? I'm not really sure. Scott Pollard. Scott Pollard's probably closer to these people. Comic Chuck Haley Final 3 would be the worst Final 3 ever. Probably? I don't know. Like, yeah, what is the other? Like, what's the next worst Final 3? Like, is there a Final 3 that, like, everyone is bad in any. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess, to be fair, like, is that different from, like, the, like, Andy, Gina Marie, Spencer Final 3? Actually, yeah, I forgot. Jag, Matt, Bowie is pretty rough. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, I'd say 15 and 25 maybe are the two bad ones. In terms of like, he's like Andy obviously played a great game, but like it's not like Andy was particularly likable. But like that's kind of the Camus thing. Um, Scott. Yeah, what am I doing with Purple Kelly? Like, part of me, I feel like my gut is to move Purple Kelly down. Not sure where exactly. He's like Purple Kelly was like technically in the position to be like these people, or like they were positioned to make it like to final three. Like that's kind of where Purple Kelly was, but then Purple Kelly also quit, so she's like kind of a worse version of this. 21. I mean Nicole Anthony was likable at the time though. It's like at least there was that. Maybe Purple Kelly with the Russ Swan. It's not really a 1-for-1 though. Purple Kelly versus Denise. Let me think this through. Well, she was better positioned in her. Well, kind of. Like, people wanted to drag Purple Kelly to the end, but it's not like. She technically didn't have many allegiances by the time that happened. I think I'm going to go here with Russ Swan for Purple Kelly. Wait, where'd I put her? Oh, here. We'll go there. Or maybe Purple Kelly should be closer to here. I don't know. Like, the problem is that I don't think she could win. And also, like, I guess she was, like, theoretically in a better position than Dan Lembo, though. But I think Dan Lembo being Dan Lembo and, like, surviving as long as he did is, like, kind of impressive to a degree. Where, like, Purple Kelly's, like, Purple Kelly. Maybe I do put her in this tier. Maybe a worse Tarzan. For whatever that is. I'm still debating it. Genuinely, I'm still debating it. Because, like, she kind of is like this, but worse in the sense that we don't know. Well, I guess we technically don't know if they would have been either. Okay, yeah, I think I'll do this. I'll leave Kelly there. Scott Pollard. What am I doing with Scott Pollard again? He's probably closer to these people, right? Like, as in, like, there was a point where he was in a good spot. Like, he was in a pretty good spot for the entire pre-merge. Then things get flipped on him. And, like, I think Scott probably deserves a good chunk of the blame for that. But, but yeah, like, if his side had won out, he was in an okay spot. But I still think the fact that he had, like, no win equity and, like, people hated him and whatnot puts him closer to here. He did go to a decent amount of tribals, though. Above or below Dave Johnson, actually, is kind of an interesting one. He's like Dave Johnson. Like, obviously goes to less tribals. Probably had. No, actually, I'd say they're pretty similar early games. Yeah, okay, I'll go Scott above Dave Johnson. Jamie Newton. What exactly do I want to do, Jamie Newton? Like a very like a very like I don't know, like messy player, and says that people don't really like him and he pisses people off, but also he actually plays like a kind of fluid game and was like pushing for what was his optimal like end game stretch. Um, but again, that's a spot where he's pushing people away. Um, Maybe he's with Scott Pollard. It's not exactly the same, but like they go to a similar amount of tribals. Scott probably has like, no, they're actually both pretty bad socially, I guess. Um, yeah, both get flipped on by their own people. Um, generally, I kind of do want to go. Okay, cool, not that. Yeah, I kind of do want to go. Jamie Newton here, like above Scott. Maybe that's like its own separate tier at this point. And we got Debbie Wanner, who I think might just be at the top of these people, or at least like I don't know, like she's like somehow never endangered the entire pre-merge of both the seasons she plays. The problem is that she's like actually kind of a bad player, but like I don't know, maybe she should be like maybe Marty level, to give credit to the fact that she's like able to make it through like two pre-merges like pretty unscathed. Um, like even early like post merge, she's able to like at least get through a vote. Um, yeah, I'm debating if that's better or like if she's better or worse than Randy. Um, I think she's probably better, right? So yeah, I think Debbie is someone I'm likely moving up on for now. So let's do that. Okay, so okay, yeah, I think we can kind of piece this together right now because like this next subgrouping is like pre-mergers. Um, Debbie does seem like a top. I love Debbie on top. Uh, let's see. Um, hmm. Yeah, I don't know. What do I do with these people? Like, do I? Well, like this, I feel like I can move down safely at this point. This Jonas, Penny, Julie tier. Um, like Gretchen and Tevin, I'm just not really sure what to do with. Um, actually, wait. Let's figure this out. Because my gut is telling me to move these people lower. I think move these people, at least most of them, back down to like maybe like this level, like maybe like Russ Swan level. Um, yeah. Okay. So like I don't even think vote records are really that important here because like all these people like actually some of these people didn't even go to a tribal, but like a lot of these people didn't even go to that many, so like it doesn't really matter in terms of that. But like Jason Linden like starts off in a bad spot, recovers from that pretty well, and then gets like twist screwed out of the game. James Lim, um, starts off the game a bit rough, swaps, and then makes a big move, and then swaps again, and then gets kind of screwed. So like it's like a lot of ups and downs there. And yeah, I guess we might as well just do all of these now, right? Because I feel like I think this is probably where I'll end for tonight. Is I'll finish these people and then call it night. So I got what, like 9 more people here. Jeff Wilson seemed to be a pretty good spot before he quit. But like he still does quit. Yeah, pretty much all of these players were swap screwed. And then you can maybe add like Thomas to that. Randon and Jake are kind of different. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I had Randon and Jake right next to each other, so why did I change that here? Does Angela have any win equity? Like, we're talking about BB28? Yeah, I think so. I don't know if that'll stick, but I think as of right now, she does. I'm trying to remember what was the Russ Swan argument. He destroyed a lot of tribes pre-merge. Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know if these players, if I actually move them down or not. Because I kind of wanna, like, for a lot of these, like, I think a lot of them do like individually, like individual good things to make me want to put them high. Because I do think Jason, again, Jason recovering from the bad starting spot's pretty good, and then him getting twist screwed out. James Lim, again, pulling off the Morgan move, I think is very impressive. Like Jake obviously ran his original tribe. Randon, again, did a lot of good work, like pulling over Tevin. I guess Morgan doesn't really have a good move on her resume. Actually, really, Morgan might just be lower, actually. I think Morgan might actually just be too high. She wants Taylor backdoored? Why? Why does she want Taylor backdoored? Like, what's the logic to that? Like, Morgan, I think, like, is one that, like, feels like a better player than what she actually is. Because, like, she feels like the next coming of Kim Spradlin. But, like, ultimately, she doesn't really have much to show for it. It's like, because, like, yeah, she was safe in her original tri formation, but, like, even then, she was, like, technically at the bottom of her side. Like, she was with Dominic in a spot where, like, Wendell, Kellen, and Bradley were closer together. And yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's not really that much to say about the second round. It's just really a spot where she's just, like, outplayed there. But, like, so it's like, I don't think her opening position is really that good. It's not like she was, like, running the game early on. Or, like, Anna Kate, I think, is someone that you could say was, like, running the game on her original tribe. Like, Morgan, Ricky, not so much. Did more wrong. Let's see. Should I make more room? You know, I'll make room for this, considering we're probably going to end here anyway. Taylor's talking to Kamu. Okay, why did that do? Wait, what? Oh, I'm dumb. I selected too high, didn't I? Yeah, okay. That's my own fault. Um, so she's just like stereotyping everybody, is what we're saying. All right. So again, this is what we're working on for the rest of the night. It's just these people. Okay, so how do we break this down? So like Morgan, I think is probably closer to James Lim. If not arguably worse. Anna, I think, is fine there. Caleb, I think Caleb, considering he has 2 runs, might put him above Anna still. Thomas, I think it's probably in like some sort of middle ground here. Okay, cool. Jake and Randon, I think, are probably closer to this. Jeff Wilson is probably closer to the Thomas level. Okay. I think this might be a close enough breakdown. So yeah, Jason Linden. Starts up in a bad spot, recovers, and gets twist screwed. I think my gut's telling me somewhere around there. Like, so Russ Swan drives a lot of tribals. I think Den's. I think. No, fuck. I think Devin's very likely to get the power. Apparently, she said Taylor's like Chelsea. I don't really get Taylor like Chelsea vibes. I get Taylor more like. Actually, I don't know. I can kind of see like a mix of Chelsea and Ashley, actually. So maybe I can see like a tad of Chelsea, but like not a lot. Like I think she's playing the game very different than Chelsea. Actually, maybe she's more of like T-Core and like, yeah, I can see like T-Core and Ashley. Like in general, actually, I feel like she's a lot more T-Core esque than she is Chelsea esque. Let's see. So I think my gut is leaning towards moving these players down to here. I think is what my gut is telling me. So like, actually, wait, let me think this through. I think Morgan and Jason, at least, I kind of want to move them down there, just because like it's kind of a spot where like it's more potential than reality. James is like kind of different in the sense that like we actually, I guess I kind of see what I was going for with James and Jason, in the fact that they start off Rocky. Fuck. Are able to get out of that. Right, yeah, Morgan's more of a decision of like, she started off in a better position than James and Jason, who were like definitely potential boots. Or like Morgan wasn't, but Morgan does still like get booted the first server she goes to, even though it's a post swap one. I mean, the story is that Tucker declined 28, but I don't think it's been like confirmed. I feel like Taylor gives me dirty looks behind my back. Okay, it's a very Angela thing to say. I think them below this grouping makes sense though. Like, these are players that were able to be in the alliance that ran the pre-merge. These players were never in a group that was like running the pre-merge, right? So yeah, I think this feels okay to me. Is doing that. And then I think you have Thomas and Jeff next, which like maybe that's a tad different. Like, Thomas was in the California Girls. That was seemingly the center pillar of that tribe. Jeff seemed to have a lot of influence, was able to like keep Kim safe for Fote and whatever. Yeah, Jeff Wilson's just a... I'm not really sure what to do with him. Maybe I do also still leave them here. Yeah, I think the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of content with leaving a lot of these post-mergers down here. I agree with Corey that 26 is the new 16. Yeah, for the most part. I think 27 will age for super fans better than 26, but I think 26 will be the more remembered season casually. And it already is. Yeah, I feel like Thomas next. And then Jeff. I think Jeff, Jake, Randon. Actually, is Randon even better than Jake? I know I had it in my one ranking. What is this one? Randon above Jake. I don't remember. What was the argument for that? Because, I think, Randon has more potential, but I think reality, if we're going off the games they played, I think Jake is just better. Yeah, generally, I don't think White Lotus affects much of the season, especially because it got better after White Lotus. Obviously, White Lotus is still terrible. It was a big down point for the season, but the fact that it recovered with the Borgen drama and everything, I think I don't really it doesn't affect my personal ranking that much. Even though it's definitely the thing you can call out. It's okay, this is the worst thing about the season. I think Randon probably should be here. I think the thing right now is that Randon feels like he's more in this Thomas sort of mold, where I feel like Jake and Jeff were kind of running their tribes, where I feel like they're probably more with Anna. So yeah, I think that does make sense to me. Is this. And cool. Let's do that, and then this, and then we'll do Thomas and Randon together. Okay. I think that feels okay to me for now, that those placements. And then we get to, yeah, these players. I think we're running their tribes a bit more to where, like, I feel like they could go up a bit. Like, I feel like, considering, like, because, like, these are players that I don't think they were, like, running, like, any of their tribes in particular. I guess, like, James, but, like, James also started off in a rough spot. Like, Jeff, Jake, and Anna are all people that start off in a good spot and then ran those tribes, even though, again, like, Anna didn't go to many tribals and Jeff quit the game. I think the question is, where does Beast Mode Cowboy go? Because I don't think he is exactly the same thing. That is the question. Yeah, it's like, I feel like maybe he's like closer to here then. Like, he feels like a better Randon, I guess. Like, he feels like someone that got Randon twice, right? Like, he feels like kind of a mix of Randon and Thomas, genuinely. It's like, I don't know, maybe I do go there. And then, I don't know, though, because I guess also the argument is that, like, you could argue Caleb was, like, running the original Manu tribe, or at least was, like, a central swing there, at least. So yeah, it's like figuring out where these people land, and then after that, just like organizing these people, and then we'll end. And I'll be back tomorrow because I want to be miserable, I guess. We reached the halfway point, right? With this, hopefully, I think we did. So that's something. If we finish this, or finish this section, yeah. How do I want to approach this? Should, it's like, I think it's a spot where I want to merge these two tiers, I feel like. Like this tier, not merge fully, but like put these two tiers closer together. And then I need to figure out what I'm doing with Gretchen and Tevin. What am I doing with Purple Kelly also? Generally, is Jake better than Anna Kate? Anna Kate gets more screwed out of the game, but like Jake does control. Like, it's only 2 tribals actually, but like still. Like, I think there's an argument with the current criteria that, like, Anna's the worst here. And it's Jake, again, Jake the Snake, Jake the Shoe Bandit. You don't remember the Shoe Bandit from Survivor 49? The guy that took Rupert's spot in Jeff's mind for the guy that stole shoes. Yeah, What's the next tier again? Ben Ray J. Okay. See, I'm thinking. These players are either above or below this tier. Wait, are these? Oh no, that is right. Never mind, that is right. Okay. Desi, Julie Wolf. Is Desi really even this high? I think it's kind of. I think Desi should be more in the Jonas caliber, shouldn't she? Like more of a like unknown of where exactly she stood, but she was in a majority group early on. I think that actually kind of makes more sense to me. That Desi is with Jonas. And thank God, Master Jonas is with Purple Desi. Julie Wolf. Yeah, I'm thinking this 8 feels okay in the order that they're in now. I'm still debating on what to do with this, like where they are, if they're above or below. Maybe some sort of mix. Or maybe they're just above. Like Kelly Purple. Yeah, I just have a tough time gauging her. Just because, like, she was meant to be in the end game, but, like, she also, like, quit. So it's like, so, like, I could see her actually being closer to, like, here. Purple Kelly versus Tarzan? I think that's fucking 4:15 in the morning. Only 3.5 hours in the stream. For some reason, I thought it was later. Do you think Kamu would need to go first to the red corner? That's interesting. Yes, that's actually kind of bad for Kamu. Oh, wait, Kamu told Taylor that Angela wants her up? That's interesting, actually. It's pretty bad for Angela, right? Yeah, I already saw. Actually, I didn't see the clip itself, but
I'm gonna work on tape.
I don't know if I should play this clip when I'm trying to. Yeah, we'll see.
Who else do it? Dirty looks behind my back.
Really?
I do.
Okay, then I have to work. Really?
I do.
Okay, then.
Back.
Really?
I do.
I love D's really. By the way, I did do a thing of like today. So I did get into the partnership, like a partner program for the VOD channel. I still can't monetize the channel until I hit 1,000 subscribers, which I'm like 50 something away from. So that's something. But yeah, YouTube started like giving me all these notifications of all the videos that have copyright claims on them. Meaning I can't like make money on them yet anyway, even if they were, and it's like kind of a lot. So that was kind of funny. But he told Taylor that she's safe. Oh, okay, okay. Like so yeah, okay. So Taylor doesn't know Angela. Like so yeah, okay. I get what you're saying now. So that's not bad for Angela necessarily. What does that mean? What's what mean? He said Kamu has winner edit written all over him. I mean, she's not wrong. Okay, what am I doing here? I think these are attached. It's a debate of above or below. Maybe I go below because like these are players that like their games didn't end like properly. Like obviously Jake gets medevac, Jeff gets injured and quits. Other person, Anna Kate gets like really screwed out of the game. It's like okay, I didn't mean to cut. And then it's like they all like were running their like all these people were like running their original tribes. But like these players had that like proper fall. These players didn't. So yeah, I think I'm doing that. And then what should I do here? Do I move Caleb up too? I'm debating what to do with Purple Kelly in relation to like these tiers. Because also like part of me is like maybe they should be like here. As I think these players had more agency. And maybe do something like this. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Yeah, it is 4:20 right now. It is high time. I think I'm just gonna settle on this just to end for tonight and then deal with this tomorrow. I think it's kind of what I'm I think Barrett and Drew are earning D's and Andrew's trust back. I mean, how much though? All right. Do I feel content with this for now? I think I am. How many people did we go through tonight? 38 people. That's not enough. Wait, I just realized we barely hit the halfway point. We're literally at the halfway point. Dude, fuck me, dude. I'm never finishing this. Yeah. I'm so fucked. But whatever. again, I can't wait to get to the easy part, which is surely coming. We're definitely gonna get to easy sections of the list. Yeah, I'm done for tonight. It's fucking 4:21. I think I feel content with this. We'll see. Like, I'll think about it over the next day, whatever. Yeah, I'll stream tomorrow night. I'll be back tomorrow night. We'll do the same thing. We'll fucking see. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'm able to chip away this. Like, generally, yeah, like, the plan is still, I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here Saturday. I'll be here Sunday with a normal stream. That is unless, like, obviously I feel like complete shit. We'll see. But otherwise I will be here. Monday on, we'll see the exact schedule. Like, so Monday, like, I'll still do nights. I might even do days by that point. We'll see. Then again, the process of, like, making the videos I'm currently working on is, like, taking a bit longer than expected, considering I got, like, nothing done today, and obviously with me streaming, that's taking away time for making those videos. So, like, maybe making those videos will take, like, longer than I'm expecting anyway. So, like, maybe I don't need to rush the ranking process as much as I think I do, but still. Yeah, I would say, like, between now and Sunday, I'll stream nightly. And that's it. But then after that, we'll see if maybe I stream during the day and the night. We'll fucking see. But either way, yeah, that's it for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll continue doing this. Dean and Angela are now talking about the Drew backdoor. That's not shocking. Yeah. But anyway, see you guys tomorrow.